Speaker, Calgary parents are fortunate to have a great deal of choice when it comes to education. Public, separate, francophone, charter, private schools, all available to address the unique learning needs of Calgary kids. However, some parents in my constituency are concerned that budget cuts to private schools might limit some of those choices. My first question to the Minister of Education: why have private schools like Janus Academy, which is designed for special needs, have they been singled out and their plant and operations funds eliminated in the provincial budget?
Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, no school boards or schools got singled out in this budget. One of the things that we tried to go to great efforts to do was to make sure all school boards and all schools were treated fairly. But at the end of the day, it's about the students, and we need to put the students first. And we need to make sure that every student that walks in the door, those instructional dollars are there for that student and for those new students walking in the door. So like I've said, we've had to make some tough choices to live within our means and accommodate the 11,000 more students we're going to have next year and make sure the instructional dollars are there for them.
Honourable member.
Again, Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Education, are these private schools that support special needs kids seeing the same kind of increases as public schools for inclusive education?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the private schools do a fantastic job, and the Janus Academy is one of those great examples. It's a great school in Calgary that supports kids with autism, but they are funded differently than the other schools. They don't receive inclusion funding like the public school boards do. They're funded specifically for the needs of that particular child. But in budget 2013, those dollars are still there, and those incremental dollars for those new students coming in the building are there.
Mr. Speaker, to the same minister, just for clarity's sake, if the plant and operation funding had to be cut, how is it that private schools overall are seeing an increase in funding? Was a new program added?
Mr. Speaker, the member is right, and she's been a great advocate for the schools in her constituency. There were envelopes of funding that were adjusted. There were envelopes of funding that were eliminated. But overall, private funding to private schools went up, and that's because we're going to fund every new student that comes in the system. And because there's more students projected to be in those private schools next year, those private schools will have more money next year than they did.